This is a Lama from Tibet, you know, and he was sentenced to death. Just for you guys who ever wants it. What little I can remember, it seems my father, who was Kagyuba Lama, seems to have had a premonition, one of his own early death and two of an impending national tragedy. And he was insistent that he bring the family out before either of them happened. And in fact, he died within months of our arrival in India, after we had done some of the pilgrimage, and just before we reached the holy lake across from here, Revolsar. He died in Mandi, and as a Lama he was cremated by the lakes of, by the banks of the Revolsar lake.
My name is Tenzin Sundu. I'm a writer and an activist for Free Tibet. For the past 45 years, China has maintained its illegal occupation on Tibet, and they have tested the Tibetans' patience for a very long time. We are born in exile, some of us. But for us, our heart is there in Tibet.
It was an article in the Reader's Digest in 1968 where George Patterson had used his former connections with Khampa chieftains, where he had, in eastern Tibet he had worked as a missionary and knew some of the leaders of the Tibetan resistance. He used his connection to have a Tibetan resistance team move into Tibet and filmed an actual ambush of a Chinese convoy. I read an article about this in 1968 when I was in school. And what occurred to me at the time was, well, these are the very people who were resisting the Chinese through the mid-50s, and the ones who escorted His Holiness into safety. And they're growing old, others are dying. And I had no knowledge of others being recruited. And it was at that point I decided that I would join the resistance, and which is what I did. After school, I did rather well in school, and my sponsors, who were from America, offered me a scholarship to study medicine in the United States. I refused on the grounds that I would use my life to continue the struggle for freedom.
And we are finding it really difficult in exile to hold on with a small hope. With the world talking peace, non-violence, harmony, but nobody supporting the Tibetan freedom movement. When they know, and when historically Tibet had been proved independent.
Unfortunately, the Tibetan armed resistance came to an end in early 1974 through direct orders of the Dalai Lama, where there was a confrontation with the Nepalese authorities. and His Holiness intervened to send a taped message calling on the Tibetan resistance to surrender.
And to continue the struggle with the youngsters who are born in India and all over the world who have not seen Tibet, but suffering the angs of living in exile and having the dream that they will go back to Tibet one day. We are finding the struggle really difficult. And at the moment when Tulku Tenzin Delek and many of these leaders are in Chinese custody without fair trial, China is really testing our patience.
And then Penchinamuche, now he's 15. Nobody has seen him, how he looks like. He was taken away as a child of 6 years old. All these years, nobody has seen him. We are not sure whether he's still alive or not. If he is alive, how he has been raised up? Did he get the kind of education that he should be getting? He could be educated to grow up to believe, that His Holiness is the splittist or separatist or whatever.
I then returned to Dharamsala and have served in various capacities, prominently as principal of the Tibetan Children's Village, later as president of the Tibetan Youth Congress. However, after His Holiness announced what is now known as the middle way policy to seek autonomy within China rather than to struggle for freedom, I then decided I can no longer serve the government.
The last hope of non-violence and peace is the Tibetans, and if they lose it for the world.
Ndanalandua tanga paindoya merea jamukatini ngape shivosukatini zombele chadwa chazrela ngapaindo samendalandudile tini paini tukatenze gele ko paia tini kojotan ramopo legade tini amate kuchi hogina tini danala shejegana tini chadwa cheromuso kosoku tsishena no koso yolo perro gere teni jamok seje dere tenkono kyare teni koso she pegu mandu teni koso ko simo cholo she ayo teni hogi shadjala chadro che rose teni ngan rati je
whosoever raises voices against Chinese, claiming the freedom of Tibet, they have been arrested, they disappear, they have been tortured in the prison. The Chinese government or the authorities are always, looking out for people who have influence over a large section of the Tibetan people, influential people, and the target has always been religious heads, religious leaders.
That's how Tuku Tenzin Delek was arrested, from my point of view, because he is becoming more and more popular in his county, and people respect him, not only from Tibetan, also from Chinese people. They respect him as a religious, and he is growing in influence, not only in Tibetan, also in Chinese people. So that is the reason they arrested and blame him as a terrorist.
Teni chije ne teni shirezi teni shavo zo ke tera zo manande tanda zo re bi ko zo ga go man du je ma za je ko ko chije ma chu ze nan ri re chi ma je du do ja ji she ko zo no lo tanda ga du po zo zombe le cha do je ko zo chi le ta pa ru mi yo ze teni tanda ga teni ke jo tanda je teni ze shu zo ta ta bi to no lo teni tishu re chi jendo za di khosol no tenda ke ten je gele chi je ya ke ni chen ko no ta ma se to je ke shibu to khoso ke jam ke she ya ta na cha je chu le ya to she ya ni de te pa ge mu tu je ni mi che to de je.
By the time they come out of the prison, they are not good for anything anymore. And also they do not get their jobs back. And whoever tries to employ them, the employer will be in trouble. And then they set them as examples to other Tibetans, saying that if you raise voices against the Chinese government, then this is what will happen. Now these are just as good as dead bodies, you know.
Jiman in the team is killing you, so the no don't you on the logic. I'm on to the killing mess. Not a bit digging for a killing all the money you write in the mess, not to turn the getting mess. That teacher the thing on nature, I get you the that I told it.
And the very good language of the Chico Guja, Kuchuko, Jichin to Guvenish, Dunia, Daram Salted Subri, dig that 2 years mute over the resident that per Ramanson and Chita, and that day that it's a messenger to young and Zolian to love John Lepa, and she mentioned the Victoria, the chapter and mute Navanaji to rest.
I just got to do some troop desert letter to the Korea, so when I where can't you know my Carasanta Janashu, Zonga, the Carasanta, chips in Nesu had the better, so much one chasing that some Shilada Germara, Drug Marilla, Kenizonga, Zamuni Toga, the Jago Kandaji, the Zonga, the Mandava, and Karat Jimda, and Chitandachi, Shukchura. Nasa Chigi, the Kandar Janashumia, the Chizoka, Michi, the Kandar chips it and Jetan Raman, the one, the Tokshu, Michin Jibe, Shugola, the Kandar Jibe Nim Tinigi Chen, the Suzuki. Minda pumping at the Tuja Ganchi Homare. Tendajin to the Danga to touch so Namida pumping at the to it Zoni Homara. Tendajin to the true density that in the Quarter and Quatway Homare.
단지 되고 야당 먼저 된다 랭귀다 나제로 또서 베데 레스 되게 나네다 또 치슈 된 건도 된다 녀도 숨다 녀도 시그널 양은 또 유럽 서울이야 체도간 신제 아니 또 저거 따라 지금 구지지 중지 많이 배가 다 속박하 망조를 잡을 수 있어야 되게 돌린 거 배야지 그래서 배는 먼저 다 팔레스티나리아 지는 것도 다 직접 지는 것도 뒤직 던지들이 다 저번 예배 것도 던지 시 돌이야 아니 제시야 되지레스 근데 앵링 나는 양 것도 앵링 치시 레고 두개 안에 제제 최배다 최저면 두대자 되게 돌아가 것도 던지들이 다 제배 던지 시 돌아가 것도 되게 되지레스 안되네 자면 이제 다 가다 계고 부드나리아 더 믹스해 것도 되게 되게 규정 되게 지 중소스 근데 내 편도 도왔어 저는 개시 계지 있는 주 디디 계지 돈에 망조 레슝 도둑 잡죠 매비지는 아니 패지단지 달리기 됐다 자나 상조 돈에 주고 다니지 매비 세브시라레스 계지 있는 주때 가다 개침부 쇼제 티베 직 낙도 자게로 직 비결이야 지구한테 개침부시라 차대 개시 디데 지모도 비는 로산 두두의 속도 다음으로스 개시 양 문에 계지 돈에 직 돈에 못 제제 내가 슉침부 치투비는 그러나 등에는 yar로산 던진도 소도 다야 제를 도저히나 속접 지투를 했어. 그래서 디제 주던 아주 다다 딱 예지고 뉴슈티 다다 뭐야 이마다 딱 개집을 이뭐 슈슈 통해 제가도 다 줄로 쪼가야 좀 들을 때 차서.
너무 가르치면서 그래. 이거 수근 이거 요로 계시지. 전화 줘.
Kasumata anda ta di konsu ramza de yamare de tam vitranju rawan te sirola rawan tong te rola ta karnando yosa so da mirosh
아니 제가 딱 니만에 다 수간 지치도 전에 지진도 제가 나는 다니는 좀 더보다 제가 근데 무트제 근데 제가 생주에 장지지지
Yana rime kubiyo, cheza, wanda chudu chigla kuhume, cheza, sama gyabkyo narana, chudu chigla kuhume, yana wanda de rime kubiyo, cheza, wanda de, samba de manila, kura chikche, andula dana kura simdini, wanda de chudu.
Personally, regarding Chugu Tenzin Delek Rinpoche, I hope that the Chinese leadership, especially the new leadership, so-called the fourth generation leadership, who want to play a very important role in the international community as modern civilized people and China as a world power. I hope that they will have the sense not to carry out the uncivilized, brutal execution of Tenzin Delek Rinpoche.
It is indeed very difficult to express my feelings about him because he was totally innocent, doing only religious activities, nothing to do with politics. In spite of that, he had been wrongly charged and without any proper inquiry or proper conduct of legal proceedings, he had been abruptly, without any proof of charge, sentenced to death. So it is unbelievable, unthinkable and difficult to understand.
What has happened in Tuku's case was an opportunity, a chance that China was looking for. With the coming of the new government in place, with Hu Jintao, taking over as the president, and with a lot of expectations from the international community on China to, join the war against terrorism, international terrorism. China, we feel, is using, the war on international terrorism to clamp down on people who are fighting for their rights.
The legal language they used to put the death sentence on him was that he was involved in several bomb blasts, and this I think coincided perhaps with September 11th case, when the United States this concern was international terrorism, and there was an attempt made by the Chinese authorities to link whatever this political activities Tibetans were doing in Tibet as an act of terrorism, and to this convince the U.S. authorities to treat these people as terrorists.
His charges, for the sentence the heavy sentence that's been handed down to him, China to date has not come out clear on the charges. And when asked, they seem to say it's related to state secrets. Now this state secrets, it's a very broad, ambiguous term that it could be interpreted in any way. And what kind of state secrets that Tuku could be involved in?
Tenzin Delek was arrested not for his association with these explosions in Chengdu, but more because he offered a direct threat to the authority and popularity of the Communist Party and of their organs of government in his area of Tibet. And we feel that this is the primary motivation for his arrest. And as with any political figure in Tibet, when they are arrested, they usually have a retinue of other supporters of their followers, friends, relatives, who will also be arrested and will go through similar processes of arbitrary detention that flout not only Chinese law, but very systematically flout international law and international procedure on detention.
For good behavior, he could have a more lenient sentence. What that really is a face-saving measure for them. For all we know, he could not be behaving well in prison, according to them. In fact, we've heard at times that he had been on hunger strike, that he had been demanding, to be treated better, all sorts of stuff. But really, it's a face-saving measure for them, and that's the important thing. It's the key to understanding the Chinese government, is that they actually do care about what the world thinks. They don't like having the spotlight focused in any corner of China, let alone in Tibet. And so, as international citizens, we focus, a spotlight, say, on Tenzin Delek or on some other area of Tibet, on some other individual or situation, and we force the Chinese government, who cares what the world thinks, to change things there, to make them better, to do something that indicates that we have power, even though they have total control inside Tibet. We actually have some power and some control over them, and that's the key.
Tuku Tenzin Delek's loyalty is not to the Chinese Communist Party. His loyalty, his heart is to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So that could be, and he, through his teachings, his example, the way he lived his life, reflected all this. And this is something which, this one-party dictatorship is not tolerable. It's a threat. They see it as a threat.
Difficult to hope that the oppressive Chinese regime will do anything that is morally right and just. Nevertheless, the campaign must continue for the simple reason we must not give up.
For vaccine, and we have qualified doctors to help us.
I'm here today taking blood to enable Tibetans and Westerners to sign their name for a petition to be taken to Geneva to the Human Rights Commission to request the release of all the political prisoners of Tibet. At least if by doing this and signing in blood, the UN will realise how serious and strong the belief of the Tibetan people and also a lot of Western supporters.
First, when I saw people doing hunger strike, I was thinking, oh my God, goodness, I won't be able to do something like that. You know, sometimes it's a very hard if we skip 2 times meals. But you know, when it comes to freedom struggle, when it comes for a commitment, then nothing is hard. The hunger strike started out in New York City, opposite the building of United Nations headquarters, and that started on April 2nd, and there were 3 persons in the hunger strike. One was me, and one we have got the vice president of TYC chapter in Gangtok, Sikkim, and one person we have got from the New York TYC chapter. So 3 of us participated in the hunger strike that was organized by the Tibetan Youth Congress, which lasted for 32 days, but unfortunately I got collapsed on the 29th day, so which means I participated only for 29 days, and my 2 friends, they ended up in 32nd day. From the 5 main demands which are very relevant to the United Nations, we have got responses from the United Nations Secretary General Office to implement immediately on the 3 cases of Tugu Tenzin Delek, Geshe Sonam Pinzok, and about the Panchen Lama, because they said that a group of special rapporteurs are going to visit China, and they are going to speak up with all these 3 issues that are in the hunger strike demands. Because during the United Nations Human Rights Commission this year also, they have got debated on all these 3 issues, pointing out on the human rights situation that is relevant to the Tibet and as well as to the China. 3 of us, when we were on the strike, we were saying the world community or the United Nations must do something about the Tibetan issue, because for the past many years, past more than 50 years, Tibetans has been working on a very non-violent path, and hunger strike is one of the non-violent path that we opt is best, because it hurts oneself, but we hurt ourselves, but we think that if hurting for ourselves is a one man's life, but if it's benefits for the 6 million Tibetans, and if it's benefits for the 6 million Tibetan people's cause, for Tibetan cause, then it's a well-meaning of sacrifice one's life.
It's really a nightmare when you are in such condition that you promise not to eat until you succeed. When you have a dream like this, you are eating and you're really scared that you are eating. Now you feel like you're destroying your own walls and this determination that you have carried on. And then when you wake up, you kind of get a relief that it's just a bad dream. I did this hunger strike in 1998. It started from the 10 March. We have a few demands, which is that that United Nations, the coming General Assembly, at that time it's a 56 or 55 General Assembly is coming, and we demand to have a Tibet issue on agenda. Actually, this hunger strike, it's under death. We have 6 participants, and I'm the youngest at that time, and the oldest is 78 or around 70. There are around 300 or 400 policemen at that time when we are forcefully picked up to a hospital. First, they pick up 3 of us. including me. I was in emergency ward for nearly 38 hours in emergency ward, and then 2 days later, rest of 3 hunger strikers are forcefully picked up by the police, and that's how our other members participate, stay 49 and me 47 days.
Gombadi come nana da thousand tuning gave cups till I need the Tonilla and the Tamajin, the shape she, the Tonilla. Then they Tigilan and they get you don't buy the convention. And they Tigila Danda, Sonja to my issue, go to Chanson Kunden. And at the net, I gala went to stay there, Virginia. And then Chitongo, you which tumble or Yagalen, the net I did it, Bella did and then and then that tambo took in the villains as much and then Namia that took in the less make contagion as go to the and Consemania held the digit, took in the number church that chicks, Sanjam then the Kenajin, the image chatted, and then Sanjal and Sewa Magic, imaging Bangas that she damaged it. And that considered the mill at Sewa Jenny to bomb you said the thing as Namzada, Mania having budget to see on the and Mania. We are Tukula Name Vagilana, Ladus, Yoris, never found it. And also in the famous to Lobon there to chatting do. And then answer and saying that part, two in the Chandendi by Kazu Keberu Chetuina. Dida, and a Gichi and the Roram Yavochin, and a tinted Chande in the main said, and Digam and Chinyam that was, and Kabda that was, gave your Kama Majoragina. And I can check loaded Yanamana never part to check this Payaya to the real result.
Lunitoni Shidazagi, Tari singing in Manta, Chundula and Burke Dungeons Jumba, Bazigi Dungeons Jumba is. Sitting on that, Tunjitilla Temini, Chicken Dilla Jamaica. Nishi Jin and Jizon Chibaris. And Jizon Chibi needs to be Yami is Tigita, Muin Lamasama Muiti, the Purgin is Chitan region, Mudan Siva, Same Zuegis, Tamboni Kuzudini, Cherzy Yores. That day, Cherzy, Jamigi Chesu, Mundo, Caresna, Nichi Punola, Jichi, the English speaker, any Niju Tujimuji, Richi Punola, Chaja Sanson Zoegi, Tangrejin and Jiregi, the English, the Pendulars. Sitting up in Digi, Tapu, Pubigi, Chitan, Mudan Sivan, Sani Zuegi City, Tomanichi, Chiligi, Gusutan, Nichi Mamala, 610 Juegi, Nichi Chiligi, water to Tambu Nipa, Herseveresi. Two then Sivaina, and Nichi. Mamanga need to meet to the Merachi, and then Mamma to the Ranzingi party. Persuata Suzuki Chitan region Consona Masona, Pa Jason Chimeting on a Panian, Yanchan Juegi, Muidi, Jamaic Tunguris, Jano Kunjentangi, Moment Tunguris. You Tungu Digonla, you take them to the Lapan, the Zon Sivada, and it's they don't did one be, do to make it Jelachin, Mambusi, Tunjichi, and the Chiguris. She digging at that and did take them to the Lola, in this Chiguegi. Muitian, Jano Jungi, Savi and Pogi Chitan region, Mutan Same Zuegi, Chashi Chagares. Tigata, 오나 티켓된 데로 다가선 지조지는 티켓이야 말이지. 메디강나 그저기 브리키 던진나 카야니 아니 지금 갈 수가 다 소춘 제정치와 신바 이 단디 아니 제시기에 지금 도미 토던 소바기 천리 카레 디디전데 자나 지문기 지춘제 그 정말라 티켓된 데로라 천지지던 din 지금 문도니 자는 난기 니키와 다 원리숑나 아니 지금 시제기 자나게 양식 키wan로 다 키wan 리센로 어디든 뒤천면에 지금 내역이 자나 현재 망부기 티켓된 데로라 천지지와 장대 말해지니 나진다 최선나 마스나 소위 망부 배겨야 해서 제디가 딘디기 니츠 망부시가 파 디디가 자나기 티켓된 데로라 장디 천지지와 장대 마인 바시나 다 니츠 세우 라초고야 해서
근데 폰 너무 지금 너무 좋아. 라좀 봐 너무 좋아. 다시 와 다가서 막. 아니 담보 야추 고추 거단 로테야. 간지 두간 rumbuchi mixerketa kyoran gyarko kuchi chamdangari ikchachi sengi chikram donsan tukchan tramchi ani ti jugata rumbuchi sumchi rumbuchi ya rupyo kitukson ani rumbuchi rupyo ti mama mambuzuta rumbuchi gyabgyabchini mama chastan parchi chijetin rizik ani sarta durapchi tuda shanshan tusu marpyu 아니 롬부친들이 나단들이 뒤나야미스 아니 롬부친들이 이정구치 느리지 지원나 아니 마마 참에 morgu치 있는데 아니 마마 그게든지 롬부치랑 건 소리다 아직 펩터가 좀 타 담보데 야 타니바데 니르톤 이글로 텐데자 야 롬부치야 야 딱같이 쓰지 또 선부 유전 걸서 뒤도 야시 추지 생기든 죽도 같아 죽도 담보 야시 추지 담보 수용비 뒤야 롬부치 뒤정구 동거저도 국가적 갈지였잖아 아니 장고는 뭐지 먹을지 먹었어 고단지 갈잖아 각들하는 것은 들었어 반찬 여름 친구한테 지하고 반찬으로 뭐지 뒤나에 놀란 지하요 여름 치 고란 거니 지금 안 된다 지금 잡색 돈도 되는 건지 지하가 들었어 뒤나 기가 좀 왔어 아니 개코 좀 친구한테 지하도 뜻 갈수 있다 놀란지 된지 고르세니 다 gond나지 디 로니 뜻도 된지 rumbu치다 자상용도 된지 다 저만도 고 총도 된지 rumbu치 디디 rumbu치 다조 가르쳐 왔잖아 아니 네 뒤나에 여름치 뭘 그렇지 타고 미스 또 몇비 이렇게 가르쳐나 마나 나의 기억하시 그랬어 gond반들어
This is a monastery. Yeah. He's one of the main disciples of Delek.
What's his name?
Sedu. Now he is studying in Dribung. He's studying in Dribung Monastery in South India.
Mara kamletani ta kujitin de la ki ngetu antini chi kujitin de la ne jawani mara ta pode pene ni lo chukse chikranga ane mara te chi ta nyamdo nyamdo chi ne ta ko ngetu to tini chi tini hindi ane mara ya ta chi gemi pe guchu ko duglola zonto sene zon ko pe kangar pe masewa nya tini chi so
아니 되게 좀더 쓰고야 돼요. 안지 많이 가요지네. 다치 이야 대배 구주된데 라라지 많이 가요지야 치도다 말한지 공단 리와야 배네. 김만하지 인디 안 된지 치도 공한테 견자야 치도 마땅 보는 좀났음. 좀났습니다. 결혼 배치. 아니 보람상의 자익점 점요래서 안 된지 많이 가요지네 발전. 로치 매매 되지가 라라 존두베 살인데바 되지냐서 말로저 땅아리 되나요 지 로저 땅나야 베 라완자와니네 말한데 다와 투스 그런 거야 지 니야게 고면 나로네 데아레다 아니나야 지 소소베지 추 체녀다 아니 자나지 란드르코베 네토야다 드리기 토라 자와니네 베 라완자와니네 아니 콘즈플리시다 안치 산이 니마다 되리베 말아베 신주치니까 되나베 이 가자 가르셰기 오늘로다 되네 베 달동로 지네 말아치 베 자와니네 베치 라완다 되네 되네치디엔치 다 잠잠다고 베 좀좀고나고 같이 맞춰가 좀들이나 말도 추 체니크 지장베 마마무시게란 디사스케 아니 가서 책상에서 조금 말했으면 말만 좀은 말했다는 거라 맞든지 치는 말다서 아무는 나게 치우셔 봐요. 나는 시바이나 문에 전에 신주 생각이 되게 자바다 신주 생각이 돼. 문에 전에 공차요. 디리치기 콘베 머릭스로나 머릭 켜버리가 말. 순 저어디나 좀 장작토네. 공급에 희가 된다네. 지금은 팬도야 보지. 순전한 팬도야 보지. 뒤는 맛이 딱 먼저 사정는데 로까지 배를 지고는 뒤전에 순전전만 단도지 지금 되는데. 디리치디 아니 타나 때문에 자는지 기아머리나요. 기아머리배 개인원의 배지 레카마라는 배 먼저 사잖아요. 알았지. 향수다 도서 드리용에 배 대충 사진 통지 건지니 말하는 배 마보용별. 다 뜻으로 사잖아요. 근데 다 지금 붙이 건설 앞에 뒤다나 바꾼 건설 앞에지. 레카리나라고 야 르바야 붙고 그래. 시네마소나로 레카야 르바야 붙게가지. 안 뜻이 지든지 근데 기아머리도 소이나야 르무치한테 한 레징 가야다. 르무치에 된다는 배 지금 르무치 달아마세요.
마로도 세네 르무치게네 komji 두스치네 아니 마라야 진네 로드니 아니 로추투파데 르무치다 베트 강시 나루도치네 답베 두스네다 차상로지 세우 차상로지 두스 마라야 지여 단다 르무치게네 튼진 바지키비 튼진한테네 니동시기 진다 데비타리 두고 고문텔이야 아니 르무치 츠비 아니 르무치 게투 아니 nga dus 제송 제열에 dus 제데 니도 나니 dus 에 첨다 지네 르무치라야 로니게네 소템다 로니게 제라 소템다 아니 로슨 투 테베네 또 소다 소도 타야게 아니 dus 자나 슝게네 첨다 지열에 다
르무치 네 태가치 지디다 르무치 마르 모나야 다르무치 힐라 아니지 스레치 스레세라 스레치자 스레티나로라 아니지 야나즈응나라 아니 결국 춤당가리오스야 토와 아니마 춤당 민갈 민갈 메네세네 베 스탐지제다 베라리 된다 조조티치 아니 야나즈응 춤당가리오스야데 남맘남부베 여러분 지금 현재 라마테니 마음은 현재 송세야 주문가에서 조치들이 니바텔라 다 아니 초세메비 고마만 보자 송세야
두스는 안주고에네 딱 제당도데 아니 자윤데는 좀 기르츠비 망쳐지다 아니 줄로야 저와체야 뒤츠비 네 케이다 강도라 만다면은 만주고 세면은 아니 지금 따지 조 아니 추 가서나 샵텐 좀 샵텐 제야래 아니 지게 살아말아야 소와터여래 ane kauntu chutu ke tusi ane nga su ngane an tusi che da che jimba yin de che na ina yang tang ju ngane tusi che ba yin ba samji ane tusi da rumbi che ge ane ne dang te tang da ge ne gare ne ane ngoma le tang da ne duri ma da gare ne che do yo ma le nipa ane jala masam be paru tini ge paru ya ta lope ni sam ta tini chige raya ta rambu chipe shine yangi ta basura pai lebi yore de ina ya gombe na lo ngoma na ji gi na so na lo so pe chira hiri da tini ge tola pe chi gaja shi ha da tini pe totan sawa ni ni yo ma ta na yarme te rogo yo na ya ane rambu chipe ta changkan da zungu na lo so pe chocha shi ma to za ni ro chok ya ma tini me de ta rambu chi khona pe 로런 로진데 근데 데는다 마치 참라 아니 요즘에 되게 지네 요즘에 티가라다 로자치 기시 나와서 때라 네 보고 파치 근데 숨자치 되게 지어서 되는 로 로자치 한 코고 연중로 나네 로자치 겨울에데 양 대노선 그다베 뒤자가님 자초코네 세나 아니 로자티 페 고자네 아니 다 로무치 베 로스 니섬즈가 장가야한테 다치 문에 자는 데 토당 라완다 지 토당 자와니니 메킹게 딘지 진네 로로진 지게나서한테 등히바노 딘지 주어 티차다 몰라세사니 버르고 사고동다야 네 사츠투네 다 머직세자 머직세 아니 머직세디 아니 몰라세야티다 라탐성고 나오네 아니 티사세야티 냐스도 나오네 종카카르 종 버르미베 마마무게 추산도네 사자가 당도 아무 추산도네 매직세 다티페 증거니 수치가 다 라키요나 메트세페 멘다 캬는 직직 세디지야 베 디나미키 자만 세디지 세베 라키 메디 다 산이테게 수수부 지금 머겐사는다 디디 르치게 다 아네 롬부치라야 아니 케치페로치 먼저 수치가 라키는 양게 다가 베세디치 무치사리 디 케치페로치 세네 슈드미 다 롬부치페는 롬부치 쇼니까야 문에잖아요. 장단이 그토네. 아니 지 딘지 지면에 그 도와야돼. 깔라마오나 아두스진다 타마. 아니 되게 배 저버도 신정성. 능주기 아부죠. 아니 배마서 그니 아부죠. 아니 디 성빙이 가르세워서는 연대는 롬부치다. 지 먼저 가이게 배 영원나는 타나 가부가모치 기포모가니 버르가치 자상 문탐바 딘지영화 선처다. 디 선비 다 영원나로 배지. 간지 지기는 조반자문아 배지 갑주 투양도다 녀자 투안도 딘지 간지 지연 아니 좀치 배전다 그런데 딘이 바 ዝ네 ተከለ ማሙቺ ማኒ አሩሙቺ በቃላ ጺነ ማንቺ በ አሩሙቺ በ 신념 තුሉቺ አዱስቺ ያር 디네치 종다 아니 다투 디네야 샹샹 조양 파티야 아니 코르기 예시 라모코 예시 지주 예시 티 나노 아카레라요세나 디니치디 니베 소소베치 보무르가 토탄야 호즈고 세야데 야노 디아캅티 오니 마 토탄야 호즈고 시니 디세 요나 마토 니치베 야노 디아캅 고기요 마레 마티 오는 두쿠메 마티 오는 마베데 토는 마페치 나랑 토탄스고 시니 티 남치체 짜치 짜자카메 디니치디 니 티니 짜자카메 나야 야노즈고 코란츠베치 레시차리베 코란츠베 셈군도바다 만타누스 카셰시 온디게 말라베 오예 주 카트르클레칸에서 최배치 딸리기 지선라니 문자는 배치 이제까지 카트치는 세네 배 많이 가고 샴푸 치고 있는 거라베 꼰룹치인데 티카르치아즈나 군즈배치 딘디기 샴푸 챔버스 배 계시고 많이나 아니 고르마 가는 지 아무자기라베 타츠남버스 지연 그래서네 군즈 딘지무 이렇게 아니 말라베 많이 기셔 배 많이 가고 샴푸 챔버들이 마무치 꼰룹치인도 딘디치디 티백이 뒤 남기 제 많이 가고 배 샴푸 등아 몰라메 네베 뒤난지세 캐는 지금 말이 티 말이나 말도 나도 소소 배디아크티고 임바 이제가 토네 아니 민소소 머리다 소야지 발주대 힘 토당 토라마 토당고
下着看。